right side, second floor, you can see where MTV is currently filming today's episode of Total Request Live from Times Square, where these open windows are on the second floor there, so we'll see if we see anybody up there in the studio as we go by. America, that giant American flag is the largest video spectacular sign in the world. That single sign has 18 million lights in it. And above Discover Guard up there, that's the flagpole where the eyes of 1 billion people focus on New Year's Eve when the ball drops in Times Square. The #1 New Year's Eve destination in the world is Times Square. This stop is for the Paramount. The largest train station in the world is still underneath these buildings, but the terminal is long gone. Rush Limbaugh broadcasts on ABC Radio from this building right here, and the next building down, the round one, is the fourth and the current Madison Square Garden. That's where Sean Connery got lost in Finding Forrester when he went to go see the New York Knicks basketball team. New York Rangers Wingman Brothers Circus, the Republican convention that we nominated. One man intercepted one in a biplane trying to get the $15 reward, and that was when they stopped doing that. This is one single store all the way down. Over 1/10 people can shop in the store at one time. This stop is for R.H. Macy & Company, the largest store in the world.
Here, coming up next, 23rd Street, Chelsea. 23rd Street, Chelsea will be next. The Chelsea Savoy Hotel, the Chelsea Hotel, the Walcott Hotel, the Los Hermanos Hotel, Arlington Hotel. All fully park from the side of the road, so it's nice and small park. Here it was sold about 2 years ago as residential space. Our next stop is for Chelsea. Going to take a look out at the Flatiron Building coming up next. The Flatiron Building, get your cameras out. The Flatiron Building, as we approach it, will appear to come up on one side of the left side of it. Keep your eyes on the left side of the Flatiron Building as we approach it. The left side will disappear, and the right side will stay standing looking like a one-sided structure. And their employees. And by the way, the tanks are made out of oak. The oak keeps the water from freezing in the wintertime and keeps it fresh and cold in the summertime. That being said, cheers. We make our way to our next stop, so Winston Churchill Square, Greenwich Village. Coming up next for you, so Winston Churchill Square, Greenwich Village, will be our next available stop. Wherever you do hop off the bus is where you pick it up again. Each time you hop off, each time you hop back. Put here by the staff members of St. Vincent's Hospital as memorials to the many victims of the World Trade Center. Stop right here, please let us know. So Winston Churchill Square, Greenwich Village is going to be coming up. From the ground floor to the top floor flat, 50 or 60 feet to the top floor flat by way of an internal staircase. The outside staircases were glamorized and glorified in a play and in a film called West Side Story about an area called San Juan Hill, which is where the Metropolitan Opera House and Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts are now located on the Uptown Tour. Over your left shoulder you'll see some of the many body art shops of the new century located here on Bleecker Street. So if anybody wants a tattoo or two or adhering to the neighborhood, the body art shops of the new century.
அஸ்வினி ஏமா கண்ணை மூடின்னு இருக்க? அஸ்வினி ஏன் கண்ணை மூடின்னு இருக்க? என்னது? வெயிலா? பாரு சொகுசுதான்.
And then we'll make a stop closer to the World Trade Center site. there on your left-hand side. In the front of the bus to your left, the gold pyramid up on top of the building to your left with the white columns. That is the United States Courthouse for the Southern District of New York, and that is where the trial of Martha Stewart had taken place a couple of years ago, there at the United States Courthouse for the Southern District up there to your left-hand side. We're going to make our way along over here. Our next available stop coming up is going to be our stop for the area of City Hall, Brooklyn Bridge, as I mentioned. So if anybody wants that stop, raise your hand, please. City Hall, Brooklyn Bridge is coming up next in just a moment. Inside the world-famous Brooklyn Bridge opened May 24th of 1883, was designed, as I mentioned, by John Roebling of the Roebling Wire Company in Trenton, New Jersey. It took 15 years to build by his son Washington Roebling. Was opened and completed the 24th of May of 1883 by his wife Emily Roebling. It's a free crossing. We're standing at 275 feet at the parapet. It's about 20 feet taller. It's actually moving. Here it is on your left. There's the world-famous Brooklyn Bridge to your left. On your left-hand side here, also looking, it takes only about an hour to complete. It is a free ride, and gives you a fantastic up-close view of the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island on the way out, and a great view of the New York skyline. It doesn't cost you a single dime. Has indoor and outdoor decks, restrooms, and restaurants aboard.
And now in the colonial period, Boston, Philadelphia were more profitable than New York City and more populous than New York City. But after the Revolution, suddenly, New York was at once the political capital of the United States, where all the important bills and important discussions taking place, but also the money is coming through New York. Okay? So really the de facto capital fiscally as well. Okay? A lot of people didn't like that idea. Okay? Particularly Thomas Jefferson. Okay? Now Thomas Jefferson came from money. Okay? Maybe why he didn't like it. But he didn't want the money next to the politics. Okay? The same problems we have today all around the world they had back then. In this country it's mostly lobbyists and special interests. Everybody look to your right, the world famous Brooklyn Bridge. There it is. All right? The oldest suspension bridge in the United States. People weren't using it. It was very breathtaking, but also kind of scary. Nobody had ever been that high in New York or really any part of the United States for a long, long time. All right, so the only part of New York City actually connected to America is the Bronx. The rest is on an island. It's actually, we're saying, an archipelago. Manhattan Island, Staten Island, Long Island, Wrangler's Island, Rikers Island, and a lot of islands. But if you guys look to your right, you see how Brooklyn is higher in elevation? Okay? It was back like that in the 1770s, and that's why George Washington confronted the British in the first major battle of the Revolution, the Battle of Long Island right over there. Okay? Because the British set up a series of cannons and pulled away New York. It's Manhattan Bridge, built in 1909. Yep. To your back left, everybody. To your back left, the Brooklyn Bridge, a nice long view of the Brooklyn Bridge. All right. So the Brooklyn Bridge, why is it so famous? It's a nice looking bridge, but it's famous because for the people of Brooklyn, you live in Brooklyn, go across the bridge every day though, to make your living, make your fortune ideally, here in Manhattan. First place in the modern world in particular to accommodate different cultures and not demand, you assimilate. In a lot of ways you're more Italian, more Russian for example, more African American. Yeah? So despite whatever economic situation you're in, you always had your people. Okay? And here to your right, it's a good building. Upstairs, got a white statue. It's a Buddhist temple. Downstairs is a 99-cent store. The same building. All right. So Eastern philosophy, Western commerce. There used to be a Jewish synagogue downstairs. Okay. So the whole world has come through this part of Manhattan at one time or another. And despite the diversity of the 5 points, the city itself was a wild place. Okay. The small town in the 1790s had a volunteer police force, which made sense back then. Now for the big diverse town in the 1800s. And that first police force became so independent, so corrupt, we formed a second police force to get rid of the first police force. The fire department would loot your house when it was on fire. Okay? They would fight each other. They're independent firehouses, part of the gang. Alright, they would fight each other before they had the fire. Now, throughout the tour, a lot of guys are new to my tour, but we talk about the indigenous population briefly, the Dutch and the Africans, the Irish, all the different groups, the Chinese. The later part of the 1800s, in this area primarily, and Brooklyn, a lot of people from Eastern Europe, Germany, and Russia, and the Jewish religion came into New York. Okay? It had a big impact on the city and country in many ways. A good example of which, though, is in theater. Okay, American theater was pretty bad around 1900, pretty sophomore. But a guy named Stanislavski in the Moscow Theater Company came to New York City and paid the Lower East Side, where we are right now, to get his theaters. Okay? His ideas about acting hinged upon initially usual emotions, your own memories, your own horrors. It's a corporate robbery, but also a personal robbery with two former partners who are now estranged architects. Up, 5 floors, 6 floors, back and forth. December of 29, the stock market crashes. The money is obviously running out. And the Bank Manhattan Company declared victory. So they built a clock tower, then a flagpole, and they were bigger, and with no more money, they win. Okay? Seemingly. But a month later, into 1930, Chrysler revealed their trick. They built a 200-foot needle in secret inside the building. You see it on top of the building now? Then push it to the top, added 200 more feet, became the world's tallest building. You see that? A year later, the Empire made a whole thing move forward. But it did happen. Left America. We're now in international space. To your right-hand side, the UN building. Okay, the flags are down, but normally throughout the day, from Afghanistan down to Zimbabwe, there are flags out front. You can take a wonderful tour of this building until 4 o'clock every afternoon. I recommend it. So that all work inside the building. The center building is the office spaces, the lower level of the assembly buildings. But to your left-hand side, the largest residential building in the world, the equivalent of 90 floors, the Trump World Tower, to your left. The equivalent because all the apartments have cathedral ceilings. Not the Trump Tower, the Trump World Tower. Right? Derek Jeter and A-Rod, two famous Yankees live there. Harrison Ford, that's his main living residence. Right there right now. Bill Gates' apartment. Okay, $50 million is the average price. Alright, it's expensive. Slightly. You go to Brooklyn, there's no stops except for the Empire State Building. Okay? So it's not nighttime. It's bit. Now we're heading towards the Waldorf Astoria. It's coming up next. Alright? Very famous hotel. Now, the Canadian flag is flying right now. Okay, a very high-ranking member of their government. Could be the Prime Minister or a high-ranking member of Parliament. His name is Waldorf Astoria right now. The British flag is flying recently. The Italian flag. A lot of very prominent members of foreign governments stay here. Every American president since FDR has stayed at the Waldorf Astoria. Okay? In fact, FDR, they built a secret railroad for FDR, linking the hotel to the terminal. Social stop for Grand Central Terminal. They built it in secret. Not for security, but to hide the fact he had polio. It's a big secret back then. I'll use it once. Okay? So every president stays here. Okay? Politically, though, the Waldorf is more relevant in terms of fundraising. Okay? Here in New York, you don't really campaign. The rest of the country, whether they like you or not, they want to see you kiss the babies and shake the hands. Okay? To do that, they come to the Waldorf Astoria for these big fundraisers. Okay? Things like religious groups, corporate groups. Okay? And now Smith Dinner is a good example. All the wealthy Catholics. You want to become president, you'll get yourself an invitation. Okay, last time around, both candidates were disinvited for not being in line with Catholic doctrine. Okay, so it's his own opportunity to make a statement. Okay, it's a necessary evil to an extent, but also depending upon how much money they give, you're also beholden to these people to an extent too. Okay? But there are some things like, I don't know what flag that may be, maybe French? I don't know. You know, the NASCAR dinners and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A lot of celebrities stay here. Despite all this stuff, the Hilton sisters, Nikki and Paris Hilton, were raised in the Waldorf Astoria. Maybe explains it a bit, right? Come on down, guys. Waldorf Astoria, anybody? Waldorf Astoria? You guys are getting too attached to me. So, come on down here for the park. Show of hands. Come on down. All right, have a great day. Central Park, everybody. Central Park. Just jazz music. CNN. Okay, remember Larry King, the broadcast in that building. And two residential towers. Okay, Ricky Martin lives there. Jay-Z lives there, one of those towers. Rupert Murdoch has a $42 million apartment. Most expensive in New York, one of those towers.
$42 million apartment.
the Upper Manhattan with Fort Lee, New Jersey. And you can also see where the ocean-going liners depart from. We had one that left a few hours ago, in fact, the Carnival Victory. We have opened the bow on the lower deck. For those of you who don't mind standing, want to come down here and say I'm king of the world and embarrass yourself, feel free. We're going to see the Empire State Building from the East River. If you look over Pier 76, there's the Chrysler Building with that Art Deco top, stainless steel. That should be lit by the time we get over there, by the way. And I think by the time we come back here, about an hour and a half from now, most of the skyscrapers should have their lights on. Between New Jersey on your right and Lower Manhattan on your left. In fact, that tunnel ended right underneath our twins. As we're getting close to ground zero. And then just for a few seconds, the twins would frame the Woolworth building perfectly. They go up either side of the handsome Woolworth building, twice as tall as the Woolworth building. Always made for a trip of games. And here it comes. I think you're going to be looking right over that red Hulk sailboat, in fact. You're looking that direction, you're going to see the Winter Garden, and you're going to see a brown building. Not terribly attractive. It's not open to the public, by the way. 9:30, first boat out here. I highly recommend you always take the early boats, especially if you're going to come on a weekend and it's very crowded. Well, if those immigrants get in good health and get into the harbor, this is what they wanted to see, and here she comes. Returning, and the lady will be on the port or left side of our vessel. Please go on.
Wait,